So, liebe Leute, regionale Investments oder ein Abendspaziergang mit der werten Frau Gattin. Wir machen erstmal die Entscheidung. Regional Investment Decision. Gus Manga and Simon Hall have prepared an extensive regional investment package to revitalize one of top 3 economically fragile regions by boosting the municipality budgets, providing large sums of business grants and giving cheap loans to companies with liquidity problems. The proposal can be implemented in one of the following regions: Bergia, Lorren oder Angland. Wo ist denn Lorren? Lorren ist da. Im Nordosten sozusagen. One of the weakest economies among the regions. It's home to many coal mines and factories, as well as the largest forestry industry. Relies on mining, forestry and energy industries. The region is home to the largest amount of trees in all of Sordland, containing a large number of forests. The famous Rock of Maradun is located here, which sets the closest point to neighboring Volksland. Ja, okay. Dann haben wir Angland, das kennen wir ja schon relativ gut. Angland is the poorest region of Sordland. It has a stagnant economy. It remains among the regions with the highest unemployment rate. Contains a vast amount of hills and small coastal towns. Its economy relies heavily on trade with Magnolia and fishing. A large number of Magnolian companies used to operate in the region, but most of them left the country in the last decades. A hotspot for tourism, Douro Island is also considered to be a part of Angland and connected to the administrative capital of Avery. Ja, und dann haben wir Bergia. Also sometimes called by its old name Bludia. Bludia has a vibrant economy but remains among the regions with the highest unemployment rate. It contains a vast amount of farm field and its economy relies heavily on agriculture, mining and steel manufacturing. Bergia's Steel Corporation is the biggest business. Wem gehört die? Bergia Steel has been contracted by Wieland for several works. Walter Tusk owns a majority stake in the corporation. Warum frage ich eigentlich? Bergia is a popular destination due to having the Ark Sanctuary of Descension and Dia, a sacred spot of the followers of the Trinity faith. Surrounded by mountains. Huge river deltas between the mountains are filled with cities and farmlands. A large part of the Maris forest is also located in the region. Also, Angland wird ja schon gestärkt durch unser Autobahnprojekt. Ich neige dazu, tatsächlich Bergia zu stärken. Ich weiß nicht, wie weit können wir das Budget runterfahren, bevor wir irgendwie, weiß ich nicht, pleite sind. Ist das im Spiel ein Ding? Ich würde gerne Bergia stärken. Um auch einen Gegenpunkt, einerseits einen Gegenpunkt zu den Unruhen darzusetzen, andererseits die bludische Partei würde ich ja gerne auf meiner Seite haben. Von daher Bergia. The Swedish government has injected billions of Sordische Ren into the Development of the region of Bergia was identified as one of the government's priority areas for luring energy investments. The city of Daya, Suzerain and Sane will likely benefit the most from the investments due to their proximity to natural resources, existing transmission links and population centers. The planned projects in central and southern Bergia are expected to bring thousands of jobs to the region. Infrastruktur wird wahrscheinlich ausgebaut werden. Und auch Landwirtschaft wird gestärkt. Okay. So, und dann schließlich werden wir uns auch noch und was heißt schließlich werden wir den Abendspaziergang machen. It was early evening, still light out, with just a faint nip in the air. Frank was at a friend's and Diana was at an art class. Monica and I decided to go out for a walk before dinner. Our favorite place for a stroll was the nearby Capital Park, the largest green space in all of Horsford. Before the children were born, we had spent many an evening engaged in deep conversations along the riverside promenade. Another favorite path wound through the woods behind the presidential housing complex to a private pond where the children could swim in summer. I was told that Sol himself had built it. The benefits of being president. Monica met me by the door and we put on our coats and hats. I was going to suggest we walk towards Seoul Square, but the guards told me it's been closed for yet another protest. I wonder who they are protesting this time. Must be the damn communists again. Jungen Sorten treiben es zu weit. Ja. Old grudges die hard, I see. This different, a nastier breed. In any case, where shall we go? I'm not sure Capital Park is a wise idea in this climate either. Let's stay inside the gates. We have our guards. Das könnte natürlich riskant sein. Die Parkanlagen zu verlassen, also die Parkanlagen des Maroon Palace. Andererseits ist es vielleicht gut, sich draußen zu zeigen, aber wenn es zu Zusammenstößen mit den Wachen kommt, ist das auch nicht gut. Wir bleiben mal drin. Let's go then, before the children get home. I informed the guards about our route and we left the house. The guards followed at a discreet distance as we headed towards the walking trail. As we entered the woods, Monica broke the silence. How was your day? Paperwork, endless meetings, the usual nightmare. I don't know, I imagine some might find that stimulating. I hope yours was better. Oh, it was fine. I caught up on some reading while the children were at school. Just outside the gate I glimpsed Jonas Kroner, the former Minister of Justice, walking towards Capital Park. I remembered that Nia Morgana, ich will immer Morgana sagen, Nia Morgana used to be his vice minister. He didn't seem to notice us as we walked by. Jonas had once fought hard and strong against Seoul's judiciary reforms, but after years of the government blocking his every move, he gave up on his ideals and became a part of the administration. What did our ideals really mean, if they could be changed so easily? What about the people we idolize? Tja, gute Frage. Evelyn also came round for tea. She says hi. She was feeling rather low, though. Apparently she and Peter had a bit of a disagreement. Wir hören einfach weiter zu. Apparently, Peter had too much whiskey as usual and didn't behave when Evelyn's father was over for dinner yesterday. You know, Peter, what do you think of this? Ja, Peter, von dem halte ich nicht viel. I'll have a talk with him. Good, Evelyn seemed close to tears. Nee, das zweite können wir nicht nehmen, aber das erste klingt auch so irgendwie, weiß ich nicht, komisch. Aren't you glad you and I don't have these kind of quarrels? Monica didn't say anything. Oh, da ist doch was im Busch. You know, Evelyn hasn't been the same since what happened to her at Household Post last year. You remember how she got fired for supporting Alfonso. Peter tried everything to get her job back, but it didn't work. Also, vielleicht hat er es nicht stark genug probiert. Es lief schon die ganze Zeit darauf hinaus. Ein trauriger Tag für die freie Meinungsäußerung im Sordland. Also wir stimmen mit Alfonso ja überhaupt nicht überein, aber in gewisser Weise, ja... I completely agree, a sad day indeed. But enough about the Vectorns. I also spoke to Janice on the phone. Who? You remember my friend from university. We were in the Sordish literature class together. A few years younger than me, red hair, scar on her forehead. We had dinner with her and her husband once or twice. Neither the name nor the description rang a bell. I still don't remember her. Go on. Anyway, she's been working as an executive assistant at the Violet Pictures film studio. She recently became pregnant and asked her boss for paid maternity leave, and guess what? She was fired for it. Ja, vielleicht kommen wir jetzt endlich mal dazu, dass wir was im Interesse der Frauenbewegung unternehmen können. Was natürlich auch in unserem Interesse ist für eine freie und gleiche Gesellschaft. That's terrible. I know, I was beside myself when she told me, and that's not all. They immediately replaced her with a younger, less experienced man, the son of an executive no less. That's utterly ridiculous. I'm happy you agree with me. As it happens, another friend works for a television station that's hiring secretaries, so I connected the two of them. Genau, das löst das tiefere Problem aber nicht. Exactly, I knew you'd be on the same page. Women in this country are still seen as wives and mothers first, human beings second. They are harassed at work, underpaid, blocked from positions of power, and those are the lucky ones. The fact that there are still places in this country where little girls like Diana are denied the right to an education. Go on. These little girls and people like Janice need someone to speak on their behalf, a role model, a successful woman. We had reached the pond at the end of the trail. A park bench overlooked the water. Monica gestured to it, and we sat down, which brings me to my point. I know that the mayor of Anrika, Kurtan Lester, will be delivering a speech at the annual opening of the Banfi Festival. My wish is to take his place and deliver this speech instead. Lester was one of Sordland's most influential politicians. He'd started his career in Banfi before rising to power in Anrika. Banfi's current mayor had personally invited him to make the opening speech. Replacing him with Monica would likely anger him. Not enough to cause a major incident, but enough that he might not support me in the assembly. Jetzt kommen hier die die Kuhhandel wieder ins Spiel. I want to base the speech on women's rights in Sordland, on the oppression and discrimination we face every day on the basis of our sex alone. I want our voice heard, and this festival is the time to do it. I just need your blessing as my husband and the president of Sordland. Monica's eyes were blazing with fire. I hadn't seen since we were students. She wanted this badly, but I had to be careful with my promises. Da gibt's keine Diskussion drüber. You have my full support. Always. This is why I love you. Thank you, Anton. You've no idea how much this means to me. Ja, aber es geht um die Sache. Es geht natürlich auch um Monika, aber es geht primär um die Sache. One way or another, I want to contribute to this country, no matter what happens. We are not weak, Anton, but we are only strong as long as we stand by our ideals. So ist es nämlich. This was why I had married her, this passion and resolve. I should have anticipated that, sooner or later, she would join me in the political arena. We rose from the bench and started making our way back home. Otherwise, we would end up like... Ja, hat Ewald seine Ideale verkauft? Nein. Hat Sol seine Ideale verkauft? Nein. Wie war das jetzt mit Jonas? Jonas kann ich noch nicht mal aufrufen. Ja, weil das jetzt nur gerade in dem Gespräch ein Thema war. Colonel Sol. Hat der... Nee, warte mal. Sol hat sich erst zum Diktator entwickelt, oder? Ja, er hat ja den Gegenputsch gemacht gegen Lutheran. Sagen wir mal Sol. Say what you will, but that relic of the past was and frankly still is one of the most idealistic people in Sordland. Monika. Sol soll ein Idealist sein? Bitte was? Alfonso war sicherlich keiner. Our former president tried the best. Yes, he failed, but his ideals weren't the reason. Ja, weil er keine hatte. Jonas Kroner then. Exactly. He backed down on his ideals and now everyone knows him for what he actually is. Spineless. If that was how people remembered Jonas, how would they remember me? Whatever he had done, whatever ideals he had lost, he must have had his reasons. Ja, Jonas war der vorherige Justizminister unter Tarkin Sol. Irgendwann hatte er quasi von seinen Positionen abgelassen und sich der Regierung angeschlossen. Would they remember me as a true patriot, a reformer of the country? What would they write about me in the history books? Let's get back to the house. Lead the way. Monica smiled. You know, I believe I will. When we arrived home, I called my secretary Livia and asked her to inform Mr. Lester that Monica would be making the speech in his stead. The sun began to set over the horizon, bathing the clouds in shades of orange and pink. Bis die Wolken wieder lila sind. So, was schreiben die Nachrichten? Lakehaven Times. Explosion in Dyer, 3 killed, 22 wounded. A bomb attack on a police station in Dyer has killed 3 officers and injured 22. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack. The police of Dyer said militants from the Blue Ridge Freedom Front were likely behind the attack and reported that several militants also fired at the officers as they tried to escape the fires of the explosion in a treacherously pre-planned ambush. There has been a wave of unrest in Sordland for the last couple of months. These attacks seem to suggest that the racial tension in Bergia have also increased. The Workers' Party of Bludia has condemned the incident, adding that the Bludish Freedom Front does not reflect the views or the culture of the Bludish people. Arcasia has called on both sides to avoid violence, but stressed that Sordland has the right to defend itself against attacks by Bludish rebels. Okay, warum mischen die sich jetzt ein? Debt Nation. Sordland in a tough spot. Current public reports from the Ministry of Economy are pointing to a deep underlying problem with Sordland's economical standing. Schulden. It appears that the current ventures to get out of recession have put a considerable dent in the reserves. Although the comments from the administration state that this situation is only temporary, that remains to be seen. Our economic advisors have commented on the matter, saying that the current stance of the administration is hiding the extent of the debt. Is Sordland turning into a debt nation? Smolak condemns the Arcasian soldiers in Lesbia. Veshek President Viktor Smolak on Thursday criticized the Lesbian government for bringing Arcasian soldiers close to the borders of Welen. Last month, Prime Minister Alvarez and President Walker agreed on the construction of several military bases in Lesbia that would station ATO soldiers. Das sind die, NATO quasi, ne? Arcasia Treaty Organization. With the arrival of the first Arcasian soldiers to Lesbia this week, Welen's stance has become increasingly hostile. In his speech on Thursday, Smolak said President Walker has succeeded in spreading Arcasian imperialism to eastern Mercopa, which will have consequences for every one of us in the region. ATO is clearly expanding its influence in our region using Lesbia. We must be careful, said President Smolak, warning the neighboring country nations of Magnolia and Sordland. Ja. Okay, Chancellor Hegel condemns military build-up in Lesbia. Das ist klar. In the press conference on Wednesday, Chancellor Hegel of Walksland condemned Arcasia for building a military base on the Ravnos Island. In his statement, Arcasia's actions on the Ravnos Island is a provocative move that is undermining the peace and stability of the region. It is also threatening Walksland's national security. Warum ist das hier groß geschrieben? However, Walksland is not a country to be bullied so easily. Ja, sie sind natürlich in dem Warschauer Pakt in Anführungszeichen. Wo ist diese Insel? Ist die hier zu sehen? Ravnos, ja. Ravnos. Um die geht's. Na gut. Na gut. In Dyer gibt es noch eine Meldung. BFF bombs Police Station. Haben wir schon in der Zeitung gelesen. The border guard has been notified of the attackers in case they try to flee to Welen. The Workers' Party condemned the incident. Ich will so gerne mit der Workers' Party zusammenarbeiten. Es gibt einen weiteren Bericht. General Staff condemns the administration. The General Staff convened at Camp Strong Arm. A session much longer than usual concluded with a disastrous military analysis of Sordland's field capabilities. The Chief of the Armed Forces, Valken Kruger, made a public press statement condemning the administration and its efforts to weaken the most important branch of the government, the military. All staff generals co-signed a letter of condemnation to the Rayne administration. Ja. Das wird uns, glaube ich, die Zustimmung der Konservativen in der Partei kosten. Unruhige Generäle, also Our generals seem to be ignoring weekly reports and are resisting to our commands. Braut sich da ein neuer Putsch zusammen, Leute. Gerade dann wäre es wichtig, wenn wir die Worker Party auf unserer Seite hätten. Dunkle Wolken am Himmel.